Yeah, I don't intend to accept the amendment because I believe there are consequences that haven't been adequately thought through here. What the senators have in mind is the concept of once recommended, always recommended. And that can present difficulties insofar as the workings of the Commission is concerned. I don't know how this really would work. If a person, for example, was recommended for a period of time, could be a year, could be 2 years, is it envisaged that a recommendation of 2 years standing would remain live and active? Would there be a requirement that a further recommendation be made for a new vacancy, or would the Commission be obliged to have no regard for any other person other than those that have already been recommended? If the intention here, as in the previous amendment, was to cut out the Commission entirely, then it would not be an acceptable approach. If this once recommended, always recommended, be used to circumvent the Commission process, then I think that's an unintended consequence that I couldn't countenance. If, for example, there are a small number of appointments, say, for example, there are 3 appointments over the course of a year, then we could have a bank of recommended persons who would remain recommended. You could, for example, have 9 names for consideration in respect of one appointment, and that obviously would present a difficulty. So I think there are practical problems here, and I don't believe it's an appropriate way of dealing with things. I think it's fair to say that if you look at the Judicial Appointments Advisory Board and the manner in which these recommendations are made, there isn't, to my knowledge, the application of a once recommended, always recommended framework. There may be different specified requirements from candidates that may emerge from time to time in the order of ranking. These, of course, would be prescribed by the Procedures Committee under Part 8. So I'm not going to accept the amendment. I understand full well the points that are made in support of the amendment by the senators. But having a situation where a recommendation remains live, perhaps even for a period of years, to my mind, is not the best way forward.